on coffee. So let's come to the economics of coffee, and definitely everybody knows the impact of coffee globally, economically. It's a huge, sector. It accounts to almost close to a trillion dollars every year. Uh, some of the numbers that you'd be watching are mind-boggling. As you can see, every day when I first saw this number, I was really surprised because I didn't know that this many people are drinking coffee every day. So as you can see, the number, 2.5 billion people consume coffee every day. 2.5 billion cups, in fact, not people, but cups are consumed daily worldwide. In the US alone, as you can see, 500, almost half a billion people cups are drunk every day. And it's a huge business in this country alone. More than half a billion, US dollars circulates in the system. So this is a huge, um, uh, economic commodity that we cannot ignore. And for us, the most important thing is the almost 100 million people's livelihood depends on coffee. And most of these people, their livelihood is very, very sad, and it's a very, they languish, in the vicious circle of poverty, and practically amounts to slavery. And this is what we are striving to really change. It's a reality. It's a very sad reality that all of us live every day. But we believe that we have the opportunity to change this. We cannot ignore 100 million people suffering every day while we enjoy, what they produce, whereas while they are, languishing. But we have the opportunity, we have the option to do something about it, and this is what this project is all about: to striving to change the lives of these people, by providing practical solutions. When we say this, we are not talking about a theory, but we are actually working on it in Ethiopia, and we would really want to expand that experience throughout the world. So the figures are very huge, and it's something that we can't afford to ignore. We all of us enjoy coffee every day, but that cup of coffee that we drink every day, it's on the brand of the shoulders of these people who are languishing and suffering in poverty. So can we do something about it? Can we get them out of this bondage, or are we going to continue ignoring the situation and continue life as is? So this is something that we really want to discuss today, and we have essentially a proposal. And this proposal is, we have to stop this thing. And that's why we came up with this project, which is Stop, Modern Day Slavery. And I'm also modern day slavery, because essentially what I will present it later on, but what these people are getting from actually what they should be getting, it's really very, disappointing. So this is the case. So this being the case, so essentially, it's when you really look at the situation of slavery and of the people who are involved in this business, it's really mind-boggling. Essentially, when you buy, the cherries, the fresh cherries from the farmers in Ethiopia right now, or for that matter throughout Africa, it's practically a penny to what these people should be getting. A kilo of cherry in Ethiopia right now is sold between like 32 Ethiopian birr to that of 70 something Ethiopian birr, which is like almost 50 cents or something like that, which is really very sad. But actually, when you really look at how much that coffee is sold here in the US, for instance, a kilo of coffee is sold to almost up to $40. So the difference, if you multiply that one, you convert that $40 into Ethiopian money. If you multiply it at bank rate, which is like 50 something or 60 something, it comes to about like 2,000 Ethiopian birr. But actually, what the farmers are selling that coffee for only 30 birr. You can see the gap between what they are selling and what it's actually sold when it reaches consumers. So there is that huge gap. So unless we really do something about it in such a way that these farmers should are able to get at least a portion of what they should have really, received, uh, then this thing is never going to change. So essentially, this project, our project, which is a Stop Modern Day Slavery project, strives to fight this thing head on. We're saying that these farmers should be getting a fair share of their labor. They toil, they sweat, they pay all the sacrifices to produce this thing for us so that we can enjoy. At least we should be in a position to support them in such a way that they should get at least a decent amount of the money that we are paying to buy coffee. So this is what we are saying, and this is what we are proposing, and we have, solutions that we are offering that would change this reality, this very dark, very sad reality. So essentially, we claim that the situation is a modern day slavery, because essentially, to our comfort, to give us this comfort, these people are really suffering, and then we strongly believe that this situation has to change. So this is what Stop Modern Day Delivery, proposes. So the targets of the Stop Modern Day Slavery are, first of all, the purpose of this campaign is to liberate 100 million farmers from bondage and slavery. So the target is to reach each and every farmer who's involved in producing coffee, and then get them out of slavery or bondage. And in terms of to do that, we have set targets. We have three targets. The first one is each and every single cup that we have seen earlier. We said that every day, 2.25 billion cups of coffee are drank, consumed. So essentially, what we are saying is to make sure that each and every single cup of coffee is certified and labeled, so that money is going to be collected from that coffee, from that cup, and that money is going to go and really going to make an impact of the lives of these 100 million people. This is the first target. The second target that we have is to make sure that every single institution, corporation, company, whatever it may be, our establishment is certified. That means we make them, voluntarily, by the way, this is not forcing them, voluntarily to be part of this process, to be part of the solution. I mean, they have the option of, choosing to ignore and, perpetuating slavery, or the other option that they have is to be part of this process and contributing a tiny portion to the solution of this problem, so that every company will be striving, will be inviting to be part of this process, and then they will be certified. By certified, it means they pledge and they make sure that whatever is being served within that institution, within that establishment, is certified. Certified in a sense that it's going to be labeled, and they're going to have a certification, and they will be serving the cup, which is MDS, which is Stop MDS or DFA5 labeled or certified. That means at least a penny or 2 pennies of that cup is going to the farmers. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to invite, and we're going to really plead to these institutions, establishments, to be part of it and to be certified, and then making sure that coffee, whatever coffee is being served in that institution, is going to be using the certified cups. This is the second target. And definitely the third target is through in this endeavor, the first and the second targets, we're going to be able to mobilize about 100 billion US dollars in the coming 5 years. Imagine what that amount of money is going to do to the lives of these poor individuals all over the world. So essentially, this is what we are going to do. So once we achieve these targets, the next thing is for us to really, maybe asking us, what are you going to do about it? So essentially, the whole solution for us is called DFA5. By DFA5, we mean direct from the farmer initiative. So the whole concept of this direct from the farmer initiative is the farmers are right now, the farmers are in where they are right now. The situation that which really made the farmers who they are right now is just is a system. The system is that the farmers produce the products, and then the system is in such a way that they are forced to give it away to the others, the middlemen. Between the farmers and the consumers, there are many layers of middle players who just take the chunk of the benefit out of the system, because the system is not established in such a way that the the farmers are the system is set in such a way that it's not set in such a way that the farmers can directly sell to the consumers. As a result, they have become victims of the whole process, the whole system. So this is what we really want to disrupt. This is what we really want to change. What we are saying through DFA5, which is direct from the farmer, as you can infer it from the name itself, is that, what we are trying to do is to make the farmers directly, producers, processors, and then exporters. That means selling directly to the consumers. So essentially, by the time this project becomes fully implemented, you would be seeing products which says, thank you for buying from us, which comes directly from the farmers in different department stores or in retail outlets or in cafes and things like that. This is what we really wanted to see. So essentially what it means is the farmer produces, and then hey, over there during the production process, DFFI will also be supporting the farmers so that they can produce better products, they can produce more products, they can produce, using, international accepted standards and so forth. So that they would be supported that way, and that way they produce more, so they get more income. And then after, they will not be giving away their product. What we are trying to do is we will help them establish microprocessing plants, which I'll be showing you the model later on. And through those plants, the microprocessing, because agro-processing is very important, if they add value to the product, they get more income. So essentially, that's the whole logic, and that's the whole argument. And everybody knows the solution. It's the question of whether we want to do it or not do it. So essentially, this is what the DFFI wants to really change. So instead of producing and giving away, what we are trying to do is we produce and then we process it. The farmers will process it. They themselves will process it. Where DFFI will come in, and this money will help help them set up these microprocessing institutions. Thousands and tens of thousands of them throughout Africa. Not only Africa, global, wherever coffee is being produced. It may be in Brazil, it may be in Colombia, or it may be in Vietnam, or it may be India is, I think, the fourth largest, maybe in India, where farmers are really toiling and then really languishing in slavery. So this is what will be changing. So we'll be having, microprocessing, plants, and these plants produce, process they roast, they grind, they pack at international standards. We will provide them the training, we'll set the standards, we'll provide them the guidance through this DFA5. So essentially what we'll do is, the farmers themselves will not only be producing, but also processing, and that coffee, which is produced at international standard, will be exported directly to the consumers. And you will find it maybe in Costco, or you may find it in, Target, or wherever these products are sold. Or you may find it in Starbucks, or it maybe in fact, what we're trying to do is to set up our own, cafe system called Afribunna, that logo that you're seeing it on the slide. So essentially, through that channel, consumers will be able to get directly from these farmers. So that way, the chunk of the income that's really fetched, received from the entire process will be going to the farmers. And imagine what that would do to the lives of these farmers. So this is what we are trying to change. Unless we really disrupt the existing system, which really takes advantage of these poor farmers throughout the world, then we will never be able to get these people out of this the situation that they are in, which is a modern day slavery. So this is the whole concept. So direct from the farmer initiative is nothing but through the effort of the Stop Modern Day Slavery campaign, the money which is going to be raised, which is targeted to be around 100 million US dollar, a billion US dollars, will be used, 100% of that one will be used to be invested on the farmers themselves, helping them to produce more and helping them to really add value by processing it and then after selling it directly to the consumers all over the world. So, and the majority of, imagine like them getting like instead of only 30 cents or 40 cents, imagine these farmers getting like maybe $10 or $12 or $13 of what it could be sold. That that's going to be huge and that's going to be phenomenal. So this is what this initiative is going to change. So regarding the direct from the farmer initiative, so what it's all about, as I've told you what it is, but let me share you a video in terms of what kind of microprocessing are we talking about. I don't know if you are able to see the so essentially this is a model that's being built right now in Ethiopia. And we're going to be building tens of thousands of this all over the world. So essentially, what it means is that they will not be only selling coffee raw, but essentially they would be processing it. So it's a typically cost-effective microprocessing, plant, a small one. What we'll do is would be, establishing clusters of farmers, and each cluster will have like between 250 to 500 farmers and they will be bring in their coffee, and that coffee will be dried, and that coffee will be ground, and then roasted, again ground, and then as you can see, it will be processed, and then it will be distributed directly to all over the world, and that way the farmers are firmly in control of the entire system and then they will be beneficiaries of the whole system as a whole. So this is what we really want to disrupt, and this is really what we're going to change. And it's only when we do these kinds of things that we will be making a difference, because everybody knows the reason why these people have remained in poverty, in slavery, is just because they are not being supported. It's the finances. And if you can come up with a system that could mobilize, generate, the support that they need in a form of financial or economic support, then there is no reason that their lives cannot be changed. So this is essentially what the Stop Modern Day Slavery is proposing. So essentially, we are at the crossroads. First of all, the choice that we have is, I don't know if that's a choice, to continue sipping the blood, essentially to continue to give it a blind eye, and then, essentially, continue the status quo, having no, concern for them, and, just continue the way it is, if that is a choice. For us, that's not a choice. For us, making every sip that we take every day, making it a sip of hope, if we really do the things that we'll be proposing for us to do. And this is a very simple thing. And most of the cases, I think majority of the cases is not going to be, costing us anything. So essentially, this is what we are offering. So we are at the crossroads. First of all, continue as it is, or secondly, do what this project, this initiative, this campaign is proposing, and then make an impact and enjoy instead of having guilt of ignoring, having hope and enjoying the kinds of contributions that we are making. So the choice is yours. So essentially, definitely after hearing this thing, uh, I hope that all of you will be part of this process. You will jump in, and definitely because in terms of the impact, in terms of the change, in terms of the difference that you are making, is going to be very significant. So I'm hopeful that you would be opting for the second option instead of the first one. So let me go to the next slide, which is what are the solutions that we are providing. Two major options in terms of how you can get involved. The first one is being a passive participant. The participants, all we ask of you is to demand, you know, to become, an advocate or to become a voice and to demand. By demand, we mean that every time you go to, say, Starbucks or Peet's Coffee, or every time you drink coffee in your institution, all we ask of you is to demand for that establishment or for that company or for that institution to provide you a cup which is labeled as certified cup. That's all we need from you. So if you make, a choice of opting for or demanding for that kind of cup, whenever, every time you drink that coffee, then you're making a difference. Your demand makes a difference. We're not going to be asking you to donate money, or we're not going to be asking you to give money, or do that. But every day you'll be drinking coffee. That's what you do, and then while you do, what's going to be, I don't think that's going to be of any problem for you to ask or to demand for that establishment to provide you this the labeled cup. So this is the first thing, um, and secondly, in every organization that you are working with in and establishment that you are a customer of, we ask of you is again to demand, saying that whichever that coffee is which is being served by the cup has a label. So I will be showing you the samples that we have. So that's label, because every time that institution or that organization buys that cup, if that organization voluntarily becomes part of this entire process, then they would be like maybe adding a couple of cents for on that cup that they are buying, to buy that cup, and it's that couple of cents which should be going to the helping the farm. So this is what we are trying to do. So the demand part is to create pressure, to influence the power that you have as consumers, to force these institutions to, just like they did for the environmental thing here, like you see it, like this one, you know. Also, they do it for the anti-slavery or stop slavery, modern day slavery campaign. So that way, if that cup is labeled, just a couple of cents of the money which is used to buy this cup would be dedicated to go to, helping these farmers getting out of their situation. So this is all we ask of you. What's going to cost you in terms of becoming, a responsible citizen, becoming a human being, which is, feels sorry, or, feels the pain, or becomes empathetic for other people who are toiling uh, to produce what he or she is actually, enjoying. So I don't think that served using a cup which is labeled with or certified with a certified cup. This is all that we ask of you. Every time you go to Starbucks, demand. Every time you go, you see a cup of coffee in your company, demand. Demand. Why don't we have this cup, which a portion of that money goes to the farmers. That way, you're contributing. Your voice, your power as a consumer is the one that we are really looking for. If imagine millions and billions of people start demanding, imagine what's going to happen. So this is what we are going to really, ask of you. So this is the first option that we have. Then what about the second option? The second option is your active involvement, which I personally, would want to take this opportunity to beg you to become an active participant of this process, a person who's really making a difference in the lives of, people who are really suffering, you know. So, an active participant, what does it entail? First of all, you joining the campaign 100 plus. In terms of 100 plus is something but which we launched very recently, and the whole idea is for you will become a member. We will sign up. We will show you. We will share you the link later on. So you sign up and you become a member. You may pay, you may contribute, or you may not contribute. But the most important thing is for you've signed up and you've actively volunteered to become an active participant in really bringing about a change, and getting these people out of the modern day slavery. So essentially, when you sign up, you can become active members by enrolling, recruiting, becoming a voice, by mobilizing others. This is one thing that you can do, or you can get financially involved. So, by the way, Campaign 100 Plus is a very unique model that we have come up with. It's a proprietary model, whereby every year we've noticed with our assessment, we've realized that how much money is being really given out. And a significant portion of that money doesn't really trickle down to the people who really needed that money. Most of it is spent on administrative overheads and so forth. So essentially, we said we have to do away with this kind of system. So we came up with a unique system whereby, with the existing model, people just give away. By the way, do you know how much money is being, given out every year as a charitable contribution? It's mind-boggling. Globally, close to $1 trillion. Imagine. Did you hear what I said? Close to $1 trillion USD is given out as charitable giving. People don't expect it to come back to them and so forth. And significant portion of that one is just being spent, not that for the purpose that is being given out, but for other things. So essentially, we really want to disrupt that. So essentially what we said is, youth contribution. By the way, when we said 100 plus, it says $100 every month, you make a contribution. But that's not a charitable giveaway. It's going to be a refundable contribution. By refundable, it means anytime you want that money, consider it as something that you have saved it somewhere. So anytime you want that money, you can request, you can take it back. So imagine $1 trillion, which is just being given away every year. If it's kept in a system, which in this system, which we have devised, in fact, that's the reason why we have said it, a contribution wallet model. By the contribution wallet, it means you consider it as if you're keeping your money in your own wallet, because anytime you need it back, you can take it back. But you might ask us, so if we're taking it back, then how are you going to be using that money? So this is what the model comes in, and how it works is we are interested only on the interest. So imagine we have a 100 billion US dollars, and if we get 10% of that 100 million US dollars of interest through a term deposit, Imagine how much money we're getting. We're getting 10 billion US dollars. I'm sure you understand that amount, what that amount of money can do in terms of impacting the lives of people. You don't use your money, it's going to be kept for you. You have access to it anytime. You can take it back. And all campaign 100 plus is interested in is the interest that we could generate, that we could drive out of the pooled amount of money which comes from your contribution. So essentially, this is a very unique, very interesting model that we launched recently, and it's using this money, this model that we'll be mobilizing on top of the certification that we'll be getting. We would also be getting from this campaigner. So you sign up for campaign 100,000. If you are interested, I mean, if you don't want to get financially involved, well and good. It doesn't matter for us. You can at least, spread the word, bringing in more people, become, voice for the project. Or you can financially get involved by making regular monthly contributions, which we propose to be 100 US dollars every month. You can contribute as much as you want. That money is kept in a safe, deposit for you. By the way, we have launched this project in Ethiopia. Right now, 1 billion Ethiopian birr has been dedicated by Purpose Black Ethiopia and others. And how you imagine how much money interest we are getting? 19% out of it. And the bank is responsible for keeping the safekeeping of that money. Is a trustee of that money, and it's very safe, and people can take it back anytime. And then the project uses the interest, and in fact, the project doesn't use the interest 100% of the interest. What it does is 50% of that interest comes to the depositor, and 50% goes to the project. Imagine this is getting money. So 50% of nine. In fact, in Ethiopia, the way we arrange it is 10% of that interest will go to the depositors, and 9%, only 9% goes to the profit. So can you imagine getting 10%, out of the money that you use just to give it away? So essentially, this is what we want to do. So in the US, you know how much the deposit rate is, maybe 3%, 4%, 5%. So essentially what this project is asking you is, we will be putting the money in your contribution in a sort of an escrow kind of, or a trustee account. And that money, anytime you want to claim it back, you can claim it back. And then out of the interest that we generate, 50% will go to the depositor and 50% will go to the process. This is a model that, so anyway, for us, we are targeting of the 1 trillion US dollars, 10% of that US dollar, 10% of that money which is being just given out to come into the system. So you can help being part of this process. First of all, you being part of it and contributing. And also as active participants, we want you to bring it. So the target is for every, campaign 100 plus member to enroll at least 100 members into the program. So that way, if each person brings in 100%, then it multiplies and multiplies. Our target is to mobilize, 100 million people in this process. So the target is to establish 100,000 chapters all over, active chapters who would be working towards elimination or a stoppage of modern day slavery. And then, through our efforts over the coming, raise 100 billion US dollars over the coming 5 years. And in this process, in the first round, liberate 100 million farmers out of bondage. So essentially, this is how. So just to summarize, there are two options. One option is you can get involved passively, or if you choose to get actively involved in this process, you can become active participants. By passive participants, all we demand of you is for you to become is to demand for you to be served using an accredited, labeled hub. That's all we ask of you. Demand your establishment, demand your company, demand wherever you go, where every time you have a cup of coffee, make sure that that cup of coffee is labeled or certified. In that way, you're making sure that, you know, just a tiny fraction of what we are paying is going to the farmers. So this is what we are asking of you. If you opt for the passive option, by active option, become sign up for the campaign 100,000 project, and then that way, either contribute or bring in other, mobilize others to be part of it, and then definitely become active participants. So this is how individuals can get involved. But how about who, in terms of institution, which institutions can get involved? Our target is to enroll all Fortune 1000 companies in this program, in this campaign. Food and catering establishments, everywhere where there is coffee, has to be part of this process. Universities, countries, states, cities. We want Washington, D.C. to be a city whereby, which stands for, which stands against modern day slavery. We want the United States to become a country which stands against modern day slavery. We want states. We want Maryland. We want DC. We want Virginia. We want California. We want London. We want, I don't know, Moscow. We want Beijing. All cities, all countries to be, cities and, states, regions, countries to become, active members, active participants of the Stop Modern Day Slavery campaign. So in that city, no cup is going to be served without being certified or labeled. So this is essentially what we are going to talk about. United Nations and multilateral institutions, religious institutions, there are huge mega churches, mega, religious institutions, who could mobilize their people. After all religious institution, what they stand for is for the poor. And I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be getting involved. And so forth, foundations, not-for-profit organizations, large, medium, and small enterprise, everyone has to be part of it. So this is our target. And if you really work hard, there is no reason why they should be getting involved. I mean, the option is very clear. You want to be part of the guild or you want to be part of the whole. And I don't see that. I don't think that there is any company which says that, no, I don't care. Why should they go to hell and things like that? I mean, in modern day institutions where, corporate social responsibility is very key, very important, I'm sure the option that they have is to be part of this process. So the challenge for us is, to get the message up to them. So this is why we really need as many people as we can to be part of this process, whereby wherever they go, and they just ask them this very simple question: do you want to stop modern day poverty, or do you want to be part of it? So this is all where we're going to ask them. This is what's going to be our pitch. So this is what we will be doing. So in terms of how they can get and how companies can get involved, they will have three options for them. They have three options to get involved. The first option is they can buy certification license to print, a number of cups. Say, for instance, if Starbucks want to take this option, so essentially what it does is Starbucks goes online and then signs up, and then it purchases a certificate for a number of cups that it's going to have, printed, buys a license for it. By the way, these QR codes are the links that would take you directly to those forms. So the first option is for a company to buy a certification license to print a number of cups. So this may be Starbucks, this may be Wawa, or this may be, those typical institutions that normally, cater for consumers by selling, coffee. So this is one option that they have. The second option is if they are not actually printing cups, but using cups. It may be a company that has the coffee corner, or a company that brings in, caterers to, offer coffee for its employees or an establishment. So essentially what they do is, if they are not actually printing caps themselves, so they can buy on the 100 plus, which is a campaign 100 plus website. They can go there and they can buy cups, which are labeled cups. I will show you what it looks like later on. So they can label cups. And by the way, how much it's going to cost them is 2 cents per cup. That's not a lot of money, just 2 cents per cup. And then what they do is, when they order it online on the link that's provided here, and then yeah, they will be part of it, and they will get a certificate when they sign up. And through option, if a company wants to buy a certificate, it gets a certificate, which they can use it as as a promotion. So it's for their own benefit. The third is, just like individuals, corporations can also join the 100 plus movement. So say Starbucks says, I will deposit like 10 million US dollars, and anytime I want it, I will take it back. So essentially, instead of giving away money, which they are used to, what we are offering them is an alternative whereby put it in a safe deposit, whereby it helps. I mean, that money helps you know um, helping other people, and then anytime you want it back, you can take it back. So the third option is they can sign up for campaign 100,000, and they can become contributors for the campaign 100 plus campaign. So these are the three options that companies can get involved. One, buy certification and print the cup themselves, or two, buy cups from the Stop Modern Day Slavery or 100 plus website, or third, they can become members and become contributors to the 100 plus campaign. So these are the three options. So this is what it's going to look like. A cup of bondage to continue as is. This is the one on the left side, the white one, or the cup of hope on the right side, which is essentially just as a sample that this could be Starbucks or this could be any company, but as you can see, the label is there. It says X, it's like it's an X with the MDS, which is modern day slavery, right? DFFI, which means direct from the farmer, and the cup, as you can see, is certified. It will have a certificate number. Just the mug could be like that. Tomorrow it could be the T-shirt or maybe a stationery that they organize. So this is what we are talking about. Hope against bondage, continuation of bondage. So we are leaving this option to you, and we are leaving this option to the organizations. This is the campaign that we are talking about, a campaign for good, a campaign for change, a campaign for really disruption. So I'm sure, I don't think that for many of us it's an option. It's just an opportunity that we have to consider really being part of it. So essentially, this is what we are talking about. So if you have questions and concerns, or if you really want to get involved and things like that, this is the contact for you to contact us, and definitely we hope you would be part of it. And then through this project, is through the intensive campaign that we are going to be, launching, we would bring everybody on board, and by doing so, we hope that would make a very, very significant impact in terms of really changing the situations of these 100 million people who really, under the bondage of slavery, producing a coffee that most of us and almost all of us savor. So this is really what we really want to share with you. So today's, again in conclusion, I thank you all for being part of it, for sitting in despite your busy circumstances, situations, to hear what we have to say. And be with us for the official launching of this initiative, which would be looking at every single institution, household, and hopefully, the world will be proud of us. And for us today, which is June 27, is a very monumental day. This project has been launched, and hopefully, come like a quarter, which 3 months from now, I wish I would come up and say that, this number of millions of people have joined, and all, uh, you know, um, uh, Fortune 1000 companies have become part of it and things like that. And I'm hopeful that everybody will be part of this, historic initiative. So thank you once again. Questions, if you have questions, you can send that to the email. We would be replying back to you. And I thank you once again for participating in this presentation. Thank you.